team and that's for real. Oh, you said something. When they kick off, he gon' kneel. I don't wanna hear nothing if it ain't about the bills. We'll be running out the tunnel, better stay up on your heels. We might leave your ankles on the field, put you on the rail. How you feel? Feel the watch the sweep just like a broom. Hail Mary and put his GM in the tomb. Make some room, call it time out, cause they not ready. Think they feeling all the pressure, cause they know I apply it heavy. Try to cover one-on-one, my cuss gon' be too deadly. Have him watching all that film while he's snuggling on his teddy. Man, who let me
Bet online is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all sports information, from live in-game betting prompts and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now use our promo code BLEAV50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now Bet Online is where the game starts.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Believe in Bills podcast. I'm your host, Justice General Rafford. I'm here with the man, the Lithium legend in 2 games. No Pee-wee coach, championship coach Mookie Hawkins in the building as always. What's going on, coach? How you feeling today, man?
What's up, General? What's good with you? It's game day today.
It's game day, baby. It's a big one. Dallas Cowboys coming to town. All right. The media darling Dallas Cowboys putting a lot of national attention really on themselves, but Buffalo by association, I guess. But hey, Dallas Cowboys look like maybe one of, if not the hottest teams in the league. Only maybe San Francisco look better right now. Dak has really good numbers. He's the most passing touchdowns in the league. But I mean, it ain't a walkthrough here today. Obviously, you had Josh Allen, who has the most touchdowns in the league, the most total yards in the league, and he is the most dangerous football player in the NFL because he has the ball in his hands more than anybody, and he can make anything happen. So, big matchup today. Bills trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. What is the one thing that stands out to you about the Dallas Cowboys that could be a weakness for the Buffalo Bills to be able to exploit?
Well, I mean, you can run the football. You know, it's not no mystery to that. I mean, they can, get the ball ran on in there. You're going to be without one of their starting D tackles. So how about that for starters? That's going to be the thing. Would the Bills be, too much in their own way and not capitalizing off somebody on that great defensive front not to be playing, or, you're just going to be yourself, and don't matter who's playing or not, you're going to just tap into who you are, just throw the ball all over the air, in the rain, in the wind, It's just that simple. The Cowboys is definitely giving the Bills an advantage to run the ball today. Let's see how many times they'll do it.
I mean, they definitely might have to, because the Bills, if they can get their offense on track, they're unstoppable. I mean, Josh Allen is just too multifaceted. He has too many outlets as far as being able to get the ball out of his hands and getting it to other playmakers like Stephon Diggs, Dalton Kincaid. James Cook now has become one of those guys. Khalil Shakir, low-key, as quiet as it's kept, when he gets the ball in his hands, he's very effective. You just got to get the ball into his hands, obviously. But I have no issues with Joe Brady so far. My only thing is in Kansas City, in like that third quarter period, there were like 3 straight drives where he just refused to run the ball. And I was just like, this feels like the same mistakes that Daboll and Dorsey were making. Please don't fall into that trap, And hopefully my thought is, all right, he got that out of his system. He saw, okay, I'm falling into the trap. Let me not just put everything on Josh. Let me still remember, I'm the offensive coordinator. I have to maintain a flow to this game. I have to make things easier on 17, because for the most part, like we've seen a lot with Dayball and Dorsey, it was, all right, you guys go out for a pass, and 17, you find somebody that's open, and if not, make something magical happen. And that was kind of just like the game plan a lot of times. And Brady was kind of falling into that spell there, but he did end up, later in that fourth quarter, like the drive, with 5 minutes left. I said to myself, I even tweeted it out. I was like, oh, first down, midfield, 5 minutes left. The Bills could milk down the clock here. And, the Bills could win the game in regulation. And they did a phenomenal job at that up until 2 minutes. As soon as 2 minutes, it was like, all right, let's throw the ball. I was like, what are you, right? So just make sure to keep those mental errors to a minimum, because the Cowboys aren't going to make too many mental errors. They are quite an efficient, they're a sound team as far as mistakes go. They don't really make too many of them, but the Buffalo Bills take the ball away. So what are some ways that the Bills could exploit the Cowboys offense to kind of make them play the type of football that they want them to play?
Well, they do have to be aggressive, and they have to pick and choose when to be that way. It's kind of like the same recipe with Philly for the most part. If you can kind of emulate what you did to Philly those first 3 quarters minus the last 2 possessions, this Cowboys team is the same way. They have a very explosive weapon similar to the Philadelphia Eagles, the Miami Dolphins. So it's kind of like that same recipe. You know what I mean? Like, both of those 2 teams, have good running backs as well. So, it's kind of like that same recipe, but they have to be a little bit more aggressive. And, it depends on where CeeDee Lamb lines up. If he lines up at the slot, then he's going to be matched up with Taron Johnson. If he lines up on the outside, then it'll be, Rasul Douglas. So you got to look at those type of matchups. Again, I said this one on our last pod about Jake Ferguson and how Jake Ferguson could be, can have a big game today if the Bills just totally forget about that guy. If they're paying too much attention to CeeDee Lamb and Pollard, like just swinging out of the backfield, that's going to confuse linebackers, and it may be some misreads on Jake Ferguson. So keep an eye on that matchup as well as how, will they be able to get a grips on Jake Ferguson. He is really, the X factor for the Dallas Cowboys in their time of need. So, just keep in mind on how the Bills will play him. As long as they play aggressive and make sure they keep an eye on Ferguson on third down more or less than CeeDee Lamb, then they have a great chance.
No, for sure, because the Cowboys definitely like to get passes over the middle. They like to hit the seams, and Ferguson is going to be the guy that they look to for those particular parts of the field. Now, looking at the Bills and where they come into this game, as far as their defense is concerned, you're going to be missing one of the captains of your team in Micah Hyde, right? And then you're also going to be missing a guy who's having really a breakout season. See, it's kind of hard to gauge the Bills players and breakout seasons because they play defensive linemen specifically because they play in a rotational operation. And so they're only seeing 30-40% of the snaps. And so it's like, oh, wow, he's playing great. And he's got these good numbers, but it's like, wow, what could these numbers look like if he has 70-80% of the snaps? So I don't quite know, but we are going to be without AJ Epinesa, who's having a great season as well. So you're probably going to see a lot more Taylor Rapp. You're probably going to see DeMar Hamlin suited up. How can the Bills maintain their level of, they were playing pretty good defense. How can they maintain that level of play without 2 of their better players?
Well, if you can just go back to the summertime when I told you that AJ Epinesa was going to have a breakout season,
you did.
Then, maybe the Bills would have signed him to that 2-year, $10 million fully guaranteed before the season even started. He would have took that money because he don't want to leave Buffalo, and it's all he knows. So he would have took that money. So you would have got him for Deontay Hardy money. Right now, we're paying Deontay Hardy 2 years, $9 million. We could have gave that same contract to AJ Epinesa in the beginning of the year, and we would have had him locked in for 2 more years. We won't have to worry about it. And, he's blossomed to, the player that he he's playing to his potential. He's not carrying a boom or bust, stick over his head. I heard Izzy. You know what I mean? He's not carrying that. He slipped in the draft because of those concerns. The Bills in this fourth season is able to unlock some things on him. So, that's another situation to be dealt with at a later time, but you won't have him out there today. He has a real deep rib contusion. I spoke with him on actually Friday, about that. And I had one of those injuries too. It's like no matter if you turn wrong, it's gonna, man, you're gonna feel it. Like if I breathe wrong, you're gonna feel it. So it's just a matter of that rib area and that just healing on its own and mending, then he'll be ready to go. It's unfortunate because he said he's like, damn, I knew I was about to have a great game, and then bam, this happened. So, yeah, AJ's been balling out, but as far as they have to mix it up. I mean, um, I guess this is the game that Von gets the sack. You know what I mean? Like if Von get a sack today, the stadium is gonna go nuts. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna go nuts. Yeah, 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 yeah. First sack of the season for Von Miller. What opportunistic time it can happen right now. You know what I mean? AJ today, so his snaps is definitely going to increase. He's been playing without the brace, so I told everybody it's going to take a while. Everybody wanted him back week 4, week 7, and all of that, and then now they hate him. You know what I'm saying? They hate him. You know what I mean? And that's not right. Y'all got to give it time. He's not Superman anymore. He's 33 years old, coming off of ACL. This is naturally common for this process in which Von Miller is going through right now. It's just human, so don't, the long run. If the Bills, take care of business today, they are guaranteed to make the playoffs, for the most part, as long as the bottom don't fall out the next 3. And, you'll see a better Von. Hopefully we'll see a Leonard Fournette sighting too, but up front, got to get it done. Ed Oliver, Russo. I don't know what's up with Linval Joseph. They're not playing Poona Ford. Jordan Phillips. Somebody got to step up. I mean, Leonard Floyd's been rather consistent all season, so he just got to be himself out there. They just got to prove that just Bills O line D line is one of the top in the NFL too, because obviously Dallas D line been getting all the pub, so. We'll see what the battle of the trenches is going to be like today.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas D-line definitely has been getting all the pub. Their defense in general has been getting all of the attention. I mean, I guess there's good reason behind it, right? When you got a super duper, uber duper superstar like Michael Parsons, that boy good. That boy's really, really good. Stephon Gilmore, former Buffalo Bill, obviously having a great season. And Deron Bland, kind of having a Trayvon Diggs-ish type of season where it's like high interception, but he also gets beat a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see. I could see 2 types of Buffalo Bills coming out today, right? I can see the Buffalo Bills a lot like they were on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys a couple of years ago, where they are militant. They don't make mistakes. They have come to do a job and they're going to do it well. Kind of like how they were against Miami, where it was just dime after dime after dime after dime, run after run. Like everything was just clicking. And I could see a Bills team like that coming out, just running all over the Cowboys and kind of dampening people's hopes in them and their chances as a Super Bowl team and Dak as an MVP and all this other stuff. I could also see a Bills team that turns the ball over on the first play of the first 3 drives or something crazy, like where they just, you know what I mean? So it's like the Bills are the most just volatile team where like you don't know what's coming next. What is the vibe like in the locker room for the players? Like, does this seem like a game that they're up for, or is it just like another week?
Oh no, they up for it. I mean, they understand what's going on. Like, it's a sense of urgency in that locker room. You make no mistake about it. They're relaxed, but they're focused on the task at hand on what they got to do out there. So, yeah, they when you're used to being in the playoffs and that's all you start to step your game up mentally because you know this is where you belong. So you know they're relaxed, but you know they're locked in on what is needed, you know, to happen today. So yeah, you know the guys is cool in the locker room, man. They chilling, they playing Uno, they they good.
Okay. All right. So I want to ask you about a player. You know, we were talking about AJ Epinesa, how he's having a good season, but he didn't get paid yet. Let's talk about a player who got paid and then just started having an even better season. Guy's playing out of his mind. Like he's playing at an all pro level right now. Of course, Buffalo doesn't really get too much attention, so he probably will get snubbed if we're being honest. But he is absolutely playing at an all pro level, and that's Ed Oliver, who's someone who's from Houston, probably grew up hating the Cowboys as a team. You know, this on the other side of the state. So he's been playing phenomenal. What is different about him? Like what has he changed about this year that has allowed him to be much more of a leader? He's always been a vocal leader, but I feel like now he's more of a leader in terms of, hey, like I'm leading by example, right? And then also, you know, you see him out there kind of giving guys advice a little bit, telling guys where to line up. So like what's changed about him this year that's allowed him to just be more so much more effective than he was previously?
You know, you know, there's always maturity, you know, but you know, it's still like okay, Ed Oliver is what in his fifth year. What year is Ed Oliver in? His fourth year, right? This is his fourth year,
Fifth, I want to say.
fifth year.
I want to say
Okay,
fifth.
so just put it to you like this: Ed Oliver is a fifth year senior. All right, he jumped in the transfer portal and came to Buffalo this year. You know, fifth year senior. He's supposed to dominate, you know, at this point. You know, you're a fifth year senior out there. Ain't too many guys that's better than you know, or they're either under you or, you know, they're probably a little bit older than you to the point where you're familiar with that opponent. You know what I mean? You have the tendency to be stronger and better than the older guy now. So, you know, you see, you know, that maturation, you know, not only with how you think about it, but actually how you go about playing it with a physicality, with a more technique. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you see it better at Oliver that way. I think it's just more or less the potential finally kicked in. You know, the development and the maturation and the players that the Bills surrounded him with.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to take a second real quick to shout out everybody in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for our support. They finally got the information from like Twitter up here. So now our comment section going crazy, right? And a lot of people tuning in and saying what's up. So thank you to everybody that joined and showing us love.
Happy birthday, Dale. All right.
And happy birthday, Del Reed.
Dale Reed.
Absolutely.
Everybody
100%.
showing some love.
NFL fan of the year, Del Reed. All right. Before we get up out of here, let me get who your X factor is for the game, right? You go. I know you're going to say who you're going to say. All right, so let me go real quick. My X factor for the game and for the rest of the season, if I'm being quite honest, is going to be Dalton Kincaid, right? Because I'm actually a fan of Sam Laporta because he's on my fantasy team and he's going crazy. He's going absolutely. You know, he caught 3 touchdown passes last night. It was crazy. I really do think Dalton Kincaid is better, right? So I look at Dalton Kincaid and I'm just like, he doesn't really drop passes. The only time he dropped passes was that one game where like it was like the voodoo curses were on us because everybody was dropping everything. We looked like the Kansas City Chiefs out there, just dropping passes all over the place. But Dalton Kincaid doesn't drop passes. He blocks really well. He doesn't fumble. He doesn't turn the ball over. He okay, coach. I see the picture. All right. But Dalton Kincaid looks absolutely phenomenal. He looked just like he kind of thought he would look coming out of college when we drafted him. We drafted him to be kind of like a wide receiver-esque, more so than a tight end, right? And he definitely has fit the bill. I've even gone as far to call him wide receiver 2 a couple times because I just like everything that he's doing. And I think that he's going to be the X factor going forward because the Cowboys have to be able to stop Stephon Diggs. And then if you want to stop Stephon Diggs, then you also, I mean, Gabriel Davis is not a slouch just because he's not, necessarily on a heater right now. It doesn't mean he can't catch the ball. Like, you still got to deal with him. So you cannot show Dalton Kincaid too much attention, which is going to allow him to burn whatever linebacker or safety you decide to put on him. So my X factor is Dalton Kincaid. I know who yours is going to be, of course. So go ahead. Let's hear it.
I'm gonna get two, but yeah, obviously the Bills go how James Cook go. I've been saying this since week 2, 3, and 4. All of a sudden, they just can't get a rhythm. All of a sudden, they don't have no identity. And then, they start going up and down each week. But each win, James Cook numbers has been the reason why this Bills team has pretty much been in the ball game. Make no mistake about that. So the Bills go how James Cook goes. Quite evident that. When they came out in the second half and drove down the field, you're using James Cook to do that in the third quarter. After you got them points, after that, you had 3 straight series where you passed the ball 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Or James Cook wasn't even out there for some strange reason. He wasn't even out there. So, I mean, you have to up this guy's production. If he's the best guy on the field, then there's no reason for you not to go to him. You're going away from the guy that's having the hot hand. And if you as a coach not recognizing that, then that's a major issue. He had 5 catches for 83 yards and a score all in the first half. What happened in the second half where y'all just didn't go back to that? Why are we struggling inside the red zone? If you're passing the ball, go back to, how you was able to use James Cook in that passing game. If that's the case, if you're going to pass the ball and don't run no time off the clock and don't score a touchdown, like that gave me Dorsey vibes right there, Brady. And then, furthermore, with Knox being back and kind of slowing the pace down, so I'm going to see if that continues today. So X factor obviously is James Cook. Numbers don't lie with that. Go do your research on that. If James Cook is having a good day, the Bills' chances on winning is very, very high. If they're not utilizing James Cook, we're going to be in the dogfight, and Josh got to put the cape on to, make it right. But X factor, I'm going to say Von Miller. Gonna be my surprise X factor.
X factor though? I don't know if I'm comfortable with Von Miller as X factor because he hasn't shown me anything. Look, I totally understand.
No Epineza today. If he's gonna have more snaps than what he's normally getting, you have to show up. So hopefully he get a sack today. That's all we need him to do. He get a sack at the right time. Bam! All is speaking. But James Cook for sure. This team goes how James Cook goes.
When James Cook touched the ball, he looked like an elite running back. Just when he catch it, his motion is so fluid.
They don't give him toss sweeps. They giving Ty Johnson toss sweeps instead of James Cook. They giving Ty Johnson the stand-up bubble sweep.
I'm not on the Ty Johnson hate train. I like Ty Johnson.
I'm not a Ty Johnson hater at all. But those type of plays should be James Cook plays. James Cook need to have the ball in open space. Why are y'all running somebody that's not even 200 pounds between the tackles? That's a Ty Johnson job. That's a Latavius Murray job. Now, I'm not saying that James Cook can't do it, but he's your most explosive back. You got to get him to the outside, right? Yeah. Get him to the outside. Why are we trying to get Ty Johnson to the outside and not James Cook? Just, some of those personnel and play calling decisions give me Dorsey vibes. But, overall, I like the play, but had the right people out there to execute it.
See, my only pushback to that is I don't think it gives Dorsey vibe. Only because if Ty Johnson wasn't out there like producing, I would agree with you more.
Yeah, but he's not producing like James Cook. He's producing, but he's not producing like.
I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if that's fair. I'm not expecting him to produce like James Cook though.
He gets 3 yards on the sweep. Would you agree that James Cook would have got more yards? Would you agree that James Cook would have got more yards on the toss sweep?
I think Ty Johnson gets more than 3 yards.
No, he didn't get it last week. He got 3-4 yards off the toss sweep. So if we did that play with Cook, Well, you know that Cook would have got more yards right there. Who would you say have a better chance of getting more yards? Who would you say have a better chance of getting more yards?
James Cook is a better running back. I'm not arguing that. He's absolutely a better running back.
So why are we doing that in that situation when he's the hot back? We're bringing the back in that's bone dry, mind you, and we're running something that's haven't been ran the entire
You know what? This is now our third offensive coordinator under Sean McDermott, who has chosen to do running back by committee as opposed to having a bell cow, which leads me to believe this is a McDermott rule or something that he wants.
This isn't college.
I'm just saying this leads me to believe that that's something McDermott wants, that he wants a running back by committee. So I mean, Singletary should have got RB1 carries. McCoy that last year should have got RB1 carries. James Cook should be getting RB1 carries, but they don't. So if they're going to continue the methodology that they have now, I mean, I don't dislike Ty Johnson.
This is why. This is why they're 7-6. Then this is why they're 7-6, because you have a quarterback that's pretty much top in the league. Why are you 7-6? You have a top receiver in the league. Why you're 7-6? You have what top defenses in the league in situations that comes to yards and points. Why y'all 7-6? And you not running the football.
He sabotaged the season.
And you not running the football. I'm just keeping it a buck right now. Everything I'm saying is straight facts, bro. It's straight facts. Why are we 7-6 then? Because of bad decisions. 7-6 is a bad decision. That's not a stat. It need to be though. You're 7-6 because of bad decisions in certain situations of games. It ain't the production of your star players. So why are you 7-6? That's what I'm saying. So I'm just being honest. Just being honest right now. All right. So that's what we got to do. You know, they got to run the ball. You know, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be raining outside. And the Bills, the way that Cowboys play defense, you know, Diggs should have a good day today. You know, they're going to play a lot of man. You know, you're going to see some cover too, you know, in third and long situations. And, you know, we just got to hit them with an element of surprise. I hope I see a screen today. You know, they're overly aggressive. Can we see a screen today? You know, Don Kincaid is, you know, like probably this game or next game, he'll have every tight end record in Bills history. Yards and receptions as well. So, you know, I think you said 70-70 this year for Don Kincaid, beginning of the year, 70-70. So 7,700, excuse me. So it's looking that way. It's definitely looking that way. So, yeah, you're right. I like your X factors. I like my X factors. The Bills got to go and get the job done, you know, versus Dallas, one of the hottest teams in the NFL. But guess what? Each past 3 weeks, the Bills has faced one of the hottest teams in the NFL and been right there with them. So this would definitely boost. This would boost their resume with a win against, you know, this Dallas Cowboys team who's been on fire lately. So if they can have an answer and get this dub today, it's no excuse, you know, that this team should not run the table going forward. With a bad Chargers team who just fired their coach, if we struggle in up there in LA and the team who just fired their coach, I know something. If we don't get our lick back against the New England Patriots, I know something. And if they don't act like the division or the playoffs is at the line for the last game of the season, we are going to know something. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's there for the taking for the Bills. They just got to seize the moment and go play football, you know, and go play football. Go dominate your guy, make more plays than the next guy. And, you know, we at home. So, Bills Mafia, where you at?
Yeah, for sure. I have to say the only bad offensive football that the Bills have put on tape so far has been under Ken Dorsey. Under Joe Brady so far, they've been a great even offense and put a lot of points on the board. Last week was more about ball control, I feel like, as opposed to putting points on the board.
About ball control.
No, I'm saying it's still strategy to the game. You still playing one of the best defending champs. You still playing defending champs. So I do.
Control is running the football.
Oh no, I agree. They were doing that, you know, in the first half. In the first half, it was. Yeah. But looking at the AFC so far. Looking at the AFC so far, Pitt lost. Indy is
they're gonna have their day. They're gonna have their
day. They like on the bubble. Like I don't like them as a team. I don't feel like they're a good team, but they keep winning. Cincinnati is trying everything in their power to lose. The good win yesterday against Minnesota. I really wish Minnesota would have won that, but I feel like Cincy is gonna give up a couple. Denver got worked. Well, I mean worked. Denver got worked so bad that the coach was yelling at the QB for something that wasn't his fault. That was crazy. And then Houston lost their phenom. I mean, stud rookie quarterback. That boy is good. C.J. Stroud is the truth. So they lost their starting quarterback to, believe, a concussion. Is today we're playing the NFC team, right? We said it last week. You've got to beat the Chiefs because it's a conference opponent. You're fighting for your playoff life. You cannot take another conference loss. Today, NFC opponent, and it's a great team. Is today a must-win for the Buffalo Bills?
Yes, it is a must-win, but it don't hurt their chances that much if they don't win. You know, if they don't win, it doesn't really hurt their chances, but it strengthens their chances a great deal if they win. So,
Sure.
Every game is a must-win right here. This is a must-win because, again, this is one of the hottest teams in the NFL, and not too many teams are going to lose to it. So they carry that same, stigma. It was a Kansas City Chief team. You figure we beat the Cowboys and then Dolphins lose to them. So that plays in our favor too. So all these type of football games against these opponents here are tiebreaker situations that need to go the Bills' direction. So yes, it is a must win. So they can get their lick back on tiebreaker scenarios. When it comes down to the bottom of when the smoke clears, this could easily be a game that been the deciding factor for the division when it comes to Miami and the Bills.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I mean, I think so. They're at a 40% making it to playoffs right now. If they lose, it goes down to 30. If they win, it goes to 60. So, got to get a dub here. It'd be a huge dub, and I think the Bills are capable. I really do. I'm honestly feeling pretty confident in the game today. I feel like the Bills are going to because last week Patrick Mahomes complained about something that was not a non-issue, and it became the topic of discussion, right? And then this week, you got a chance to kind of put a damper on another media darling, and kind of make is it panic time for the Cowboys? You know what I mean? So you get a chance to kind of put a damper on another media darling and make people talk, make people have respect for you. So it'd be interesting to see what they do. Give me a score prediction real quick.
First of all, Patrick Mahomes, what the baby's gonna do, huh? What the hell the baby's gonna do, Patrick Mahomes? You crying all the damn time.
Or
come on, man.
Or about a non-issue that wasn't even a thing, and people made it a thing.
Next time, put a bib on, man. He was offside. I don't care what y'all want to nickname or forewarned and all that. The guy was offside. This is plain and visual sight that he was offsides looking at the football. So what are you crying about? Because Kelsey made a play. He made a play. Bring that shit back, though.
Yeah.
Sure. Offsides. Sure. Learn how to execute. Learn how to execute. If you was looking at him, you should have told him to move back.
Word. Right? So, and that's the thing. That's the thing, because Patrick, after looking at Dan Orlovsky's video and kind of reading the context clues, it made sense to me. It was now like, oh, he was mad because Tony had been doing this all game and he recognized it and nobody ever called it. So he was mad that they finally called it in that moment. So I'm like, you got to cheat the whole game, and now you mad because they called it. Oh, yeah,
I tell you what, look at the play again, right? Look at the play again. The left tackle was way in the backfield. They didn't even have enough men on the line of scrimmage. So they could have called illegal formation and offsides. It's just that the offsides came before the illegal formation. If you look at that play, look at the left tackle and see how far he is. His head is not even attached to the center's hip. So therefore, make that formation illegal. If we want to be technical about it, I could break it down for you. It was definitely 2 violations on that play. And offsides was just blatant. He was in the referee's way. You can't even see the football in the shot. Right. He's so far offside. So I don't know what the hell Patrick Mahomes and them was crying about, but guess what? The Bills did get away with one off another McDermott timeout. They got away. The football guys are on our side. It shouldn't be the case that way today. So I think they go out and get it done. The weather is going to, prove to be a factor out there in certain stretches of it. But somehow.
See, I disagree with that, though. I disagree with that. You know why? Because when Philly beat Buffalo, everybody was like, yo, Philly does what they have to do to get it done in the end. Oh, all this stuff about, Philly can just win games and all this other stuff. But then when the Bills, when the other team shoot themselves in the foot, maybe by a few inches too much, the Bills got saved. Oh, the Bills got lucky. Oh, we missed a field goal in regulation to beat Philly.
We didn't get lucky, but I tell you what, the football guys was on our side.
For sure.
We ain't gonna nickname that. Because what if he was on sides then?
Oh, well, all right. So
So
Josh still got 80 seconds to go get it done. And that's the best quarterback in the league.
All right. We get that, but that's a hypothetical though.
For sure. It's also a hypothetical that if he did it, stay off sides.
So I'm saying this. Somehow Josh Allen is going to find a way to get rid of Micah Parsons.
For sure.
He's going to dot Dalton Kincaid, over the middle of the field, probably for the potential game winner. So I'm going to say Bills 24, Cowgirls 23.
All right. I was actually going to do something similar. I'm gonna say Bills 31, Cowboys 28. I say Tyler Bass ends it at the end of regulation, and Bills go ahead and get.
I talked to Bassy about being ready to kick it. He excited about it and shit. I'm like, you really excited about kicking in these type of conditions? But when you hear for 5 years, then you know what to do. So I'm gonna put some clips up. Talking to a few of the guys in the locker room before the game. So be on the lookout for that.
Did y'all ever talk to Coach about the whole not kicking it at halftime thing?
No.
Okay. All right.
They should have kicked it right. I ain't, I was Tampa, so I ain't, I couldn't get him. But got another week to make a difference out here. The division is in reach.
Yes, it is. A huge game. Dolphins got the Ravens, the Cowboys, us, and the Jets, who ain't no slouch. So we'll never know. All right, Coach. Go ahead and send us out, man.
Bills got to run the table to win the division. Do you believe?
Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Now, find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all sports information, from live in-game betting props and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now, use our promo code BLEAV50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now, Bet Online is where the game starts.